great start to their Father's Day if they're a father. And if you're not a father, you've got a father. And if you don't have a father, you had a father. So shout out to all my dads out there. Hope you're doing well. Let me get this music ended and get into things. Morning, Mr. Mister and Mr. Knives Are Life. Hope you gentlemen are doing well this morning. Oh, man. I'm enjoying this coffee. Good morning, Mr. Cliff. Hope you're doing well. Staying warm up there in Alaska. I think I figured out process of elimination. I think my dad died in 1997. I think I got that right. He was 64. He was born in 34. Wait, he might have been 63. He was either 63 or 64. I think he died in 97. Might have been 98. I hate that I can't remember that. That's pretty crazy. For some reason, 97 sticks out. My daughter was born in 93, so she would have been 4 years old when he passed. Good morning, Mr. Ill Knives. I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Yeah, the only time I the couple of times I visited that area, Arizona and New Mexico and Nevada, I didn't mind the dry heat. There was quite a bit of heat out there, but I remember one day it was 118 degrees. I think I was in Scottsdale, and it felt like about 90 degrees here. So the dry heat didn't bother me nearly as much. All right, what did I have in my pocket last night? Well, I started off with something different than I ended up with. But in my front pocket, my knife has stayed the same the whole night. And that is my kimono. My beautiful purple kimono. And then when I left for work, I had this in my back pocket, which is one of my favorite shipwreck knives I've done that I forgot about. When I was showing my other ones, this one was laying over here to the side, and I forgot I had this one still. I had a couple of these. This is the Natrix. And this knife has superb action. Very snappy. Cool little knife. You can open it from the fuller. So yeah, I had those when I left for work. Good morning, Waylon. But during the night, I swapped it out for my new ether clone, which is this one. And since I'm going to be talking about a clone, I need to turn on some background noise so y'all can hear the knife, because I'm going to be comparing it to my other one, which is the real deal right here. And you got to be able to hear both of them. That one is not nearly as loud on the open or close as the OG. And I've done lots of comparisons. The two quickest, easiest to spot are the length of the clip on both of them. The OG has a much longer clip. I think this one's around 55 millimeters and this one's like 62 millimeters. So they're definitely not exactly the same. The second easiest thing to see is the size of the blade cutout. So the blade cutout, I've got some good pictures that show this better, but the blade cutout, especially this area here, you can look at this area right here is a lot bigger than this area right here. And the whole overall window is bigger. And then another spot where they're pretty different is up here by the harpoon. And the jimping is totally different on both of them. And where the harpoon ends, they end at different places. They are about exactly the same length though. As far as overall length, they're very close. But I don't know if you can see this reflection here is bigger than this one. There's more jimping on this one, and the jimping looks different. But like I said, I've got some pictures I can share. Oh, I've got some pictures I already shared on the Discord. Here's the cutout area. And this is the choil, sorry. The choil and the plunge lines are pretty close. About as close as you can get for a Gen 1 clone. But the gap between the plunge line rides the same on both of them, and the choils are pretty similar in size and shape. So they did a pretty good job on that. But the blade holes, the one on the right is quite a bit bigger, and you can see, especially down here at the end, it's wider. And the gap by the blade on the original is thinner than the one over here by the blade. It's thicker. They did put the M390 on there, so that's a real easy tell. But they're pretty close. And here's the clip length. That one's a little about 55 and a half. That one's like 62. And then there's the area I was talking about, and the jimping, how it looks different. It's thicker on the OG and smoother. And the area by the harpoon. And then the blade itself, the OG has a nice belt satin, and they put a shiny blade on these. It's almost like mirror. Good morning, Scott. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Glad you could join us today, Mr. Scott. But yeah, you can see it's got it's real shiny. I mean, I could almost show y'all the camera up there, or me way over here. There you go. See my glasses. So yeah, the finishes on them, but the action on this thing is sick though. I did figure out what size skiffs it needs, in case anybody ordered them and wanted some. It just feels a little, oh yeah, and one more thing. The body screws are T6s on the clone, and they're T8 everywhere on the original. If y'all wouldn't mind smashing the like button, help me out. Only had 14 yesterday. That was a slow day. I thought we would do something interesting this morning, besides just look at knives like we always do. I thought we would think about making a fixed blade that I talked about yesterday. And I thought I would introduce the tiniest bit of how I might use AI to accomplish that. I do have my chat GPT opened up over here, and I have an image that I want to start with that I know a lot of you like. And I had a question for AI that could help me calculate this instead of me having to calculate it myself. So the image I'm going to send it to help me with is this image right here, which is the new Spyderco fixed blade that we talked about and everybody seemed to like. So I wanted to know if I have 2-inch wide blade stock, how long could I make a copy of this knife? And so I'm going to use AI to help me figure that out. So I'm going to send that photo up to AI, and I'm going to say, if I had 2-inch wide blade stock, how long could I make a knife shaped like this? See what she says. Or he says. Mine has a feminine voice, so. All right. Why is she doing all this deep thinking? I must have it set on the wrong one. Alright, using the image proportions, the knife shape is about 6.2 times longer than its wide at its widest point. So with 2-inch wide stock, you could make one about 12.4 inch overall length. For the blade portion, you'd probably land at around 7.3 to 7.8 inches long, depending on how much handle tang you keep. For the real layout, I'd plan closer to 12 inches overall to leave a little room for grinding, cleanup, and not riding the very edge of the bar. Okay. If I make it 12 inches overall length, how long would the handle be compared to the blade? All right, the blade would be 7 to 7.5, the handle 4.5 to 5. A very practical breakdown would be 7.25 inch blade, 4.75 inch handle, and 12 inches overall. That handle length would fit most hands comfortably and keep the same visual balance as the knife in your picture. If you plan to cut it from 2-inch wide stock, alright, if you like, I can sketch out the dimensions. Yes, sketch it out for me. Let's see what she comes up with next. What? We're sorry. Making the first draft. It says violate our content policies. It's probably because it knows it's a Spyderco. It says finishing up and adding final touches. One last tweak. I didn't want you to sketch up anything that violates your rules. Retry or edit your prompt. Make me a drawing of the knife with dimensions for 2-inch wide blade stock. Alright, had to change my prompt. It's all about the prompt. So I can get it to draw out just the blade or the blade and tang, and I can make it fit on my 2-inch stock. It says if I make one 7.25 inches long with a 4.75 inch handle, it would be perfect. So now I can just print that out on some paper. Oh, it doesn't like the knife thing. Illegal activities. This is the first time I've had it not draw a knife up for me. Create. Alright, I know what I'm going to do. create a fixed blade knife that is 2 inches wide and 12 inches long at its maximum dimensions. Let's see what it comes up with by itself. I've not had it. Look, guardrails. What in the heck is the guardrail thing? That's so funny. Let me see if I got it set on something weird. Because it shouldn't. Which one? What do I have it set at? Developer mode, safety, parental controls, trusted contact. It used to have where you could change which version of GPT it was using. Huh. Well, that didn't work out good. I've used it to help sketch up knives all the time. Data controls. I'm looking through here to see. They've got all kinds of options now, though. They didn't have before. Profile. No, that's not it. Fast answers, custom instructions. Oh well. At least I got the answer I was looking for. So now I can print that out myself using my printer, and I can scale it up to the right size. 7 1/4 inch blade is all I can fit on my blade stock. So I think we might try to make one like that, since we can't buy one yet. Seven-inch blade would be plenty of blade. What is this knife called? The gunting? How big is the original? Does it say? 13 inches. Blade length is right at 8 inches. So it would only be an inch smaller than the original. It can do that. I don't know why it's acting up. In fact, I bet if I do it on my phone, it'll work. That's why I'm shocked. Let me see. Because I've never had it. I use it on my phone constantly. All right. Can you tell me how long of a blade I could accomplish by using blade stock that was 2 inches wide at the widest point, using the dimensions from this picture? Let's see what See what she says on my phone. And while we're doing that, we're going to go look at some Reddit. She's doing all the stuff. She's actually saying the same stuff she said in the web. She's doing a bounding box, and I usually have her talk to me, but I won't do that online. Can you sketch out one with a 7? It has to do with Spyderco. I don't usually upload pictures of knives from real companies. I usually sketch something up or draw it or edit a picture together or pick a blade shape or something different. There's a big forged knife. It's probably about 7 inches long of a blade. V2 Sumo. Wow, it did the same thing. So evidently they got guardrails put up. That's pretty wild. I just asked her a simple, yeah. So nothing about knives can be done with the current version of ChatGPT, which is pretty wild. I could get a 7-inch blade shaped like that out of 2-inch blade stock, Scott. So it'd be 12 inches overall with a 7-inch blade. I've got the bar stock in here. And normally I could have done it in 2 minutes. She would have had it all sketched out and give me something that I could print out on my printer and tape it to the blade stock and cut it out. Like normally she would have been way better at that. That must be something new they've done with knives. Because I just did a simple prompt a second ago. Can you help me draw up a... Can you draw me a picture of a fixed blade knife? She couldn't even do that. So it's definitely something to do with the whole thing. So, what about making pictures of Nedge? I can't make any more pictures of Nedge, huh? That's pretty wild. All right, what are we going to look at today? This little Warncliffe is a super cool little knife. The little native Warncliffe. That's a pretty cool warnie. You can't get, it doesn't have the big hump in it either. Okay. So it did, it had to do with that Spyderco. You don't have access to this conversation. Because I just said, can you draw me up a picture of a fixed blade knife? I just did a simple prompt, and it did create a fixed blade knife. So it had to do something with probably that Spyderco. And since I was in the same conversation, it keeps a memory of what you've asked it about. So it knew I was trying to draw a Spyderco. Okay. So it did create a fixed blade for me. Can you give it a harpoon? Let's see what it does if I just start from scratch. Oh, here's the different instant, medium, high, GPT 5, 4, or 3. Whoa. That, not that kind of harpoon, but more of a thumb ramp harpoon. Anyway, it can help you. And then let's just pretend that I uploaded an image, because I could make an image of that blade shape without it knowing it was a Spyderco. I could fill in the hole and do whatever. So let's take this knife and see if it would generate the printer paper to make a stencil. Okay, that is a gut hook and not a harpoon, but can you tell me how long the blade would be using the dimensions of this photo if I only had blade stock that was 2 inches wide? It says, I'll estimate it from the image proportions, measure the blade's widest vertical height in the photo, compare that to the blade length, then scale the widest point to 2 inches. So that's exactly what I needed to do. Using the photo's proportion, the blade looks about 3.6 to 3.8 times longer than its widest blade height. So with 2-inch wide blade stock, 7.4 inch blade, I'd call it roughly 7.2 to 7.5 inch blade, depending on exactly where you count the plunge / ricasso. Can you help me draw up some stencils to put on my blade stock? Absolutely. Absolutely, I can draw your blade stencils so you can print full size, glue to your steel, and cut out. Since you're working with 2-inch wide blade stock, it would help if you tell me overall knife length, desired blade length around 7.2 to 7.5 based on our earlier estimate, full tang or hidden tang, blade style, harpoon drop point, harpoon clip point, Warncliffe, sheep's foot, Tanto spear point, handle style, neutral, straight handle, finger grooves, bird's head, EDC style, or kitchen style. Based on what I know about your taste, I'd suggest something like 12 inches overall, 7.25 inch blade, harpoon thumb wrap, full tang, large finger choil, flat grind, 2 inch maximum blade height, handle size for full 4 finger grip. I can draw 1, a simple dimension sketch, 2, a true 1-to-1 stencil suitable for printing, or 3, multiple variations on one sheet so you can compare profiles before cutting steel. Draw number 1 first. Wow, that's what I was talking about. So she already knows all this stuff about me, that I like a 4-finger grip, a large finger choil, harpoon thumb wrap. And then she gave me 3 options: a simple dimension sketch, a true 1-to-1 stencil suitable for printing, or multiple. Finishing up. Come on, give me the thing. Go back over here for a minute. Let her think. Decisions. There's another guy going through the process. Oh, look. One last tweak. It doesn't want to do a dimensioned. See, she had it all right. Okay. Don't do a dimensional sketch. Just draw me a picture of the 12-inch knife you'd know I like. You'd know I'll like. She already knew enough about me. Let's see if she'll do this one. She was doing so good. And then I got to the actual dimensions. She had it all exactly what I needed, where I could glue it to your steel and cut it out. But maybe they don't want you like they don't want to help people develop. She got the finger choils right. She got the crazy gut hook. I don't like the gut hook. I want a harpoon like on a folding knife. I don't like the harpoon that she did. Alright, what do y'all want to look at today? I figured we'd just take a laid back Sunday and look at some knife designs. I was going to go maybe look up some stencils. That's what I did last time, is I just scaled them up and down until they fit on my 1.5 inch blade stock. You did it again. With the gut hook. I see what happened. When knife makers say harpoon on a folding knife, they usually mean a raised thumb wrap section on the spine, like a CKF Evo, some Brian Brown designs, Ware, etc., where the spine rises into a hump and then drops back towards the tip. The image generator keeps interpreting harpoon as a literal hook or notch cut into the blade. Yeah, no gut hook. There we go. Thanks for the prompt. No gut hook, no notch, no cutout. Harpoon spine hump similar to a folding knife thumb ramp. That better be more like it. At least she'll help me and tell me what I need to tell her to get the results I'm looking for. She got it wrong when she said, yes, I see what you mean. You're talking about a folding knife looking harpoon. Yes, I am, because I don't design fixed blades every day. There we go. Looking better. Good morning, Brown Sugar. Good morning, Robin. Using ChatGPT to design a fixed blade, and it kept doing a harpoon with the gut hook. Now we got the harpoon right. Now I just need, okay, I like that. Now make the forward choil larger with no tab between it and the second finger choil. See what it does this time. Happy Father's Day. That's the kind of harpoon I was wanting. She got it right. Harpoon's not missing. I wanted a thumb ramp harpoon shape. Alright, now she fixed that forward choil. She's getting better. Okay, perfect. Now make the thumb ramp slash poon a little taller and give it a hollow grind. See what we get next. That looks like a comfortable knife so far. Why did it get stuck? Why is it stuck? Oh, it's because it's still generating. Where in the heck is my conversation? It started with that, and it added that, and it added that, and it added that. Aha. Now it did more. Okay. You put the notch back in between the forward choil and second finger choil. Boy, you got to keep tweaking her. She did make the harpoon bigger though, and gave it a hollow grind. You've seen it on AliExpress. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. That was a nice looking. Alright. Yeah, how did I get it to go back to the... Oh, I got to click way over there. Okay. How long could I make this knife if I only had 2-inch wide blade stock? I'm gonna try to sneak up on her. I'm gonna try to trick her this time. I'm gonna say, can you draw me up an image? 10.25 inches overall length. Blade about 5.3 to 5.5 and handles 4.7 to 5. Wow, that blade to handle ratio is pretty close. Can you draw me a picture of what it would look like as a stencil on 2-inch wide blade steel stock? Now I'm going to try to trick her into doing it without... Get rid of the lanyard hole to mess with Ed? Yeah, I should, huh, Bob? I'm trying her to, like, hopefully she'll show a piece of blade steel with a white stencil laying on it. Oh, look. Guardrails. So it's when it's finishing, she'll give me the dimensions and she'll give me the image. And I can print that out and scale it up to whatever I need. And make that knife. And if I was going to make that knife, I wouldn't want it that big. Yeah, I might could get her to draw the outline of it. Draw the outline of this knife for me. I can't spell. Yeah, and that's what I do a lot of times, because I'll just draw in an image, or I'll take photos and then I'll make a solid black image of the shape I want, and then I just send that. And they like working with that stuff a lot better than these photorealistic things. But like I said, I can take that image and send it straight to the printer and scale it up whatever size I want it up to. Like, I can fit, what, a 10-inch knife on a piece of paper. With margins, I could probably get a 10-inch blade scaled up on a regular piece of copy paper. Yeah, she didn't want to do that either. Anyway, so now I can download this photo and I can start a whole new session. And I can close out this session and do a new chat. Then I can add this photo and make me a stencil I can print out on my printer with this knife 9 inches long. I haven't ever tried to go past this point because I know I can just print this out and use some scissors and cut it out and scale it up and make it whatever size I want. And that's what we did last time. I had a bunch of little cutouts. But when you stay in the same chat, see, they don't want you to be able to print it now. But they'll give you the image to print, so it makes no sense to me. I could send that to my printer right now and it would come out about 10 inches long. Yeah, Google AI. What is the name of it now? Gemini, I guess. See if Gemini will do it. Can you make me an image I can print of this knife with it 9? I'm gonna keep shortening it. 8.5 inches total length. Let's see what Google does. Yeah, ChatGPT's had to put some guardrails on. It even named it. It called the Blanco Hunter. Design number ChatGPT 0621. Blanco style hollow ground blade. It's pointing to jimping. That it's up there at the top, I guess. Micarta scales. Custom 8.5 inch. It did the... What are these? Oh, it's letting me draw on it? Well, I didn't want to draw on it. Downloading full size. All right. Well, there we go. The White Hunter. It's pretty wild. Blanco. Millie's albums are called Blanco. Y'all don't know nothing about Millie's though. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, but Google, I mean, they all limit you to a certain number of images per day. I need you to scale it so if I print it, the total knife length will be 8.5 inches, not the blade. I just want something I can hit print on and take it off the printer and it be close to 8.5 inches long. So if I do it landscape, there we go. That's all I need. looks like a Civivi. What Civivi looks like that? With those big nice choils. I want to buy a Civivi that looks like that. What happened? Oh, I didn't hit download. I hit save. What's the difference? All right. Enough of that fun. What do y'all want to look at today? Well, heck, we could go look at some Civivi fixed blades, I guess. That's the first thing mentioned in chat. Alright. I don't see any with the choil on the blade. That one almost has one. Well, that one's got too much of one. There we go. The timber bark. Except it doesn't have a harpoon. We got any with the harpoon? Or a big thumb ramp? I love that Cloud Peak. I love my Cloud Peak. That's a very comfortable knife. Go back. Those ones with the karambit style have a little bit of a ramp. There's not many fixed blades that have ramps like that because it's more aesthetic. I mean, it does catch your thumb. The Evo fixed blade. That's what we need to go look at. I don't see any with the real harpoon. There's not many that have a choil that goes into the blade. They're all behind the blade. Evo fixed blade. That is a big choil. And that definitely goes into the blade. It's got a hollow grind and a swedge. It's also got that clip point at the front. Add a clip point swedge to the front. Sorry, just one more thing. No, I do not think it is. Oh, how much is it? 80 bucks? Yeah, possibly. For 44 bucks, no, but for 80 bucks, possibly. PSRK. I don't know nothing about them, but they got the hardness levels of both the blade steels, so that's refreshing. Shows the but I mean, they can look that up, but I don't think they would go through all that trouble knowing they could get caught. And I'm not sure that is that a clone of something else? If it's not a clone, I would say definitely yes. Creating your image, it already created it. It didn't change nothing. You didn't change anything. Yeah, man, I don't know. $80 would be about the cheapest. How big is it, too? Hey, Google, what's 17.9 centimeters in inches?
17.9 centimeters is 7.047 inches.
Yeah, so 7 inches. I'm sure they could do that for that price. Yeah, and you can message and ask them too. They'll be pretty honest. They don't want to have, you know, one of these knife steel guys to test it and it not come back real and shut down their whole thing and nobody buy any more knives from them. So they're pretty honest nowadays. Yeah, you still ain't doing the right thing. That's when you start over. You like those TKL looking knives, huh? Oh, I thought that was... I didn't realize... Good morning, Co-Bunny. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Primus Modest. From Austria? Oh, dang. That's where Joe X is, huh? I think Joe X is in Austria. Knife blueprint and specification. I don't use AI much. I've only got ChatGPT that I talk to that chick and ask her stuff all the time, but I guess if I'm talking to a girl voice, it doesn't make me feel so gay about using AI. I don't know why I think of her as a she. I still would like to make a fixed blade that looked like that. So I need to edit this image and just make it a solid outline, and then it can help me scale it up. I'm wondering if I put this blade shape into AliExpress, what knives it thinks I'm talking about. Alright. Sativians. Nothing with that real blade shape, but some longer. It's a longer knife, I'm guessing. Yes, 7.3 inch blade. $12.4 inches overall. It's a pretty big one. Big guy. And that looks like something. I'm sure that's a clone of something. There's a new... What is that? EF123. That's got a choil. That's weird. It's a weird little knife. There's definitely nothing shaped exactly like that, though. I love some of my Sativian big fixed blades. I threw a couple of them in the in this chest over here that I told y'all I've been saving knives in. What did I throw over here? Let's see. I threw... Alright, there's all my little ones. Could have sworn I threw some over here. Maybe it's still sitting over here. What did I do with that big Sativian? Huh. Here's a little cheap Pakistani Damascus push knife I got somewhere. Oh, I know where. I think I did throw it in here with the rest of my... Yeah, these right here are some of my favorites. This is one of them. This is a lot of 154C. No, this one's AUS 10. I've got another one. Look at the rust already on this thing. Wow. Already rusting. Okay. I still love my Grow. I should have taken better care of it. This one is not rusting, and this one is ultra comfortable. Forgot which one this is, but it's got a crown spine, nice swedge, and these handles are super rounded over. I forgot which model this one is. EF140 and AUS 10. And then this is one of my favorite Grows. The grip on this one's awesome. 14C EF136. That's a pretty cool knife right there. Morning, Dwayne. But the one I was looking for is not here. I don't know what I did with it. Could have sworn I had it out here. This one hadn't started rusting yet. They must have made this one out of some decent Damascus. Where is that? I know there's one up here. Aha! I didn't see it on first glance. But this one is a Sativian, and it's 154 cm, and a lot of it. It's the ST22. This thing is a beast, though. For like 60 bucks, 154 cm blade steel. I guess it's fixed blade Sunday. Morning, Audiolitis. Morning, William. Morning, Want to Know Why Knives. Good morning, Throat Goat. While y'all are all here, smash that like button. Only got 14 likes yesterday, and that wasn't no good. So if you weren't here at the beginning of the video, this is the ether, and this is the cloned ether. And the cloned one is very close. Has a couple little differences, shorter clip, but the action on this thing is just as good. The jimping feels just as good, but I can't front flip it just as good for some reason. Guess I wasn't doing enough. The clips are quite a bit different though. I don't know why they would make it so much shorter and smaller on the clone. It cut me last night. I was taking it apart to check the bearing size because somebody wanted to know what size skiffs to put in it. Just bought a new folder from Dispatch. Let's go check that out. Dispatch Knives. Father's Day sale. Folding knives. Sheep's foot inspired cleaver. Oh, these look like Amazon knives. I hope you didn't get one with a seatbelt cutter. My God, when I see a seatbelt cutter in a knife, I know it is absolute garbage. Oh, wow. They have the rainbow knife. Yeah, these definitely look like Amazon specials. Which one did you pick up? Seatbelt cutter? Or the America Eagle? $8064? The 8064, what is that? Dispatch 8064 knife. Oh, that one. Modified sheep's foot. But you didn't get the green one, you got the other color. SD. What would SD color be? $20% off of everything, so you can get it for $20. $20. I guarantee you this knife is on AliExpress. Because I guarantee it's also made by one of those OEM companies that we've looked at. There it is. There's the same exact knife. Without the branding, without the dispatch written on it. There she goes. I prefer to get ones that don't have branding when I can. And I bet there's other ones. Yeah, right here, $13. Here's the same knife for $13 from the same OEM. So if you find a knife, make a screenshot, and you can find it for a lot cheaper on AliExpress with no branding. Yeah, so I've shown y'all a few of those companies, like Kagani was one that's easy to check out, but Kagani Co., if you go to catalog and folding knives, I wouldn't be surprised if like that knife showed up in here. But there's lots of these companies. That OEM these knives for all kinds of people. I don't see the sheep's foot one right off the bat. I've gotten some PDFs sent to me also by a company. I can't remember the name of that company, but boy, did they make some crazy cheap knives. Some of them were like $1. I was trying to find that one. I know I've seen one close. That one's pretty close without the blade hole, but you'll see all kinds of knives you recognize when you're scrolling through these. That almost looked like a Narrows. They almost put the narrow pattern in that one. But yeah, very interesting. $13. They're all over the place. $19, $22. There's a Sativian version. Look, it's got the Sativian branding on it. That just shows you they're all made in the same places. Trivisa. So they make their own stuff, and somebody finally posted one of those nicer ones that I've been wanting to check out, and they said it was worth every penny. But they had an M390 one that I really like. I think it was this one. No, I don't know that I really liked that one. They had a couple. Oh, it was this one, I think. Is that the same one? It might be that one then. Forgot what it's called. Oh, no, it was the Scarn. It was this one. He finally bought one of these and said it was worth every penny. I don't know. It's another case of, I've got a couple of Trivisa knives, but I don't have one that's $175. William, if you want to look up different blades shapes, type in the word NAFs and blade shape, and it'll pop up and show you 16 of the most common ones. And it's a good little guide to have. But a drop point rounds off from the top and the bottom, but they don't meet in the middle like on a spear point. So a spear point, they both round up, so it goes more down towards the bottom of the blade. And a clip point is basically a drop point where they cut off a straight line at the front. So the clip gives it more of a sharp tip than on a drop point. So drop point is like a clip point without this section cut off like that. And then I like a lot of straight back knives. So straight backs are really close to drop points, except the spine of the blade goes straight with the top of the scales instead of curving towards the middle. And then anything that's kind of modified with the clip point, with the drop point, you just kind of call modified. But this will give you a good, so dagger and spear point, the middle of the tip of the blade is lined up exactly with the middle of the pivot or with the middle of the knife. Whereas a drop point and a clip point, the tip of the knife is a little lower than the pivot or the middle of the knife. And a leaf shape can be pretty much like a spear point and a dagger. They're repeating a few here, but that's a good guide. And all you have to do is NAF's Knife Company, KNAFS, and then blade shape, and it'll pop up that little chart for you. I've got Odenwolf. I've got some Odenwolf knives. I've still got one to give away in a giveaway. They sent me 4 or 5 knives to check out. But yeah, we can look at Odenwolf. They're budget fixed blades. I've got an affiliate link and a code for their website. And I've still got a couple of Odenwolf knives to give away. I've got these two right here. And these are pretty good knives for the price. Odenwolf's not bad. But they sent me some to review. This is don't know what it is. This is one of their knives. I don't remember which one. Yeah, this is the one with the fire starter and the stone on it and the dangler. But these handles on these fixed blades are pretty dang comfortable on these knives. I've got another one of their knives that I bought, the W1, I think. But this one has different mounting options. Pretty cool little fixed blade. Morning, Pete. Yes, straight back can be pretty piercy. But like he said, a dagger or leaf or something like that is probably a little more pointy. Let me get this one put back up. And then I got this one, which is a weird one, in a huge box. And this is from HX Outdoors, I believe. Ow. Ow. These latches hurt to get open too, boy. This one has a fire starter. And this one is weird. Got a leather belt loop. This one's DC 53 blade steel. They sent me this one to check out. Hey, that one has a nice choil on it. Nice. I didn't ever check that one out. This is from HX Outdoors, though. It's got the ferro rod. Let's see, which way does it go? It goes that way. Pretty good retention in the clip. I got a couple of these to do for giveaways, though. I keep forgetting about these. I need to give these out. This thing pinched me, man. This case is ridiculous, though. But yeah, these Odenwolfs, I've already given a couple of them away. But back to the Odenwolf site, I have one of their ones called yeah, they sent me the W1, W2, and the W3. So the W3 is the one I still got. And I also have the W flat. So I wanted to get the W Scandi, but I got the W flat. And I bought it before I even reached out to them to see if they wanted to send me some knives to review. And I love this little W flat. The handle material they use is super comfortable. And that one has a flat grind all the way across it, hence why it's called the W flat. And then they make a Scandi grind version. But I actually forgot what my Odenwolf deal is. Let's see. I've got if you go up here, Odenwolf, I've got a 10% off code. It's Alchemy 10. I don't have an affiliate link for it, but I do have a 10% off code. And I got a 10% off code on that HX Outdoors too. And North Mountain Blade. And Trivisa, I got a 5% code. And Olitans. And Giant Mouse. And White Mountain Knives. But yeah, if you do buy something from Odenwolf, use Alchemy 10. You'll get 10% off. I haven't looked at their hunting knives. I'm telling you though, they got the ergos on the handles down. The handles are super comfortable. That's funny. Hey, there's the Blanco Hunter. No, that's not the Blanco. Can't beat that for 20 bucks though. Yeah, that's pretty funny though. I kind of like that knife. maybe that first image with a little less. The Blanco Hunter. It's got too much forward choil. I don't know. It depends on how long I made it. If I made it to where my fingers would only fit on the handle, I could resize it. I don't know if I want to try my skills at doing a hollow grind, but I got to expand my skills and put a swedge in or something. We're going to figure out a good design to make out of my blade stock, though. I got a 48-inch piece, a 2-inch wide Pops Pro Cut. So I got 48 inches I can make. If I made this one around 7.5, I bet it would be a great size for my hand with that choil. Y'all don't know how bad I want to print it out and see what it looks like. 7.5 inches long. Let me see. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Attach that knife. Send. Okay. Let me throw on just real quick before we leave today. New Blade HQ 619. I'm gonna throw this on for a second. I'm gonna go print this out at 7.5 inches
for many years, as well as a super tinker with all orders.
Y'all watch this for a minute
and greater. And this is.
And I'll be right back with a printout.
Pocket-sized multi-tool. It does come with a sheath, but I really appreciate what they did here. Super nice spring action on that. Gives you lots of biting force. Very easy to use one-handed. And then the tools inside are also quite handy. We have a little cap lifter right there. On this side, we have a scalpel blade. I'm going to try to not cut my finger off while I show you guys. And that one is just a standard scalpel blade. There's a couple in the package there, and you can order a pack on Amazon as well if you want to replace those blades and keep them spooky sharp all the way. And then on this side, you have a small Phillips head screwdriver, as well as a little file and like a pry tip sort of thing. A handy little tool to have around. Comes in a nice little sheath here. A very luxurious item to go to with your knife of 165 or greater. Super nice multi-tool all the way around. It can be yours for free. Speaking of multi-tools, we also have some new Victorinox exclusives, including a classic SD, like we've known and loved for many years, as well as a Super Tinker. And these ones have these America-themed scales. So what's cool about these is these are our exclusive design with the eagle and the stars, and on the back we have stripes, and the 250th anniversary celebration on these ones. They're fun, they are very patriotic, and also handy to keep in your pocket and around. I know a lot of Victorinox collectors out there might be into this kind of thing, but we have them here. $26.95 for the classic SD, $59.95 for the Super Tinker. Very fun knives, and a very exciting exclusive. Next up, we have some Desert Warrior variants of the QSP Mini Penguin. So this is the same sheep's foot design that we all love, and it is nice and small. What I like about this is somehow I can still get 4 fingers on this handle. I don't know how in the world they managed to make that work, but did a really good job on that one. We have the Desert Warrior with the pink blade and with the pink handle and blue sprinkles, blue blade, and then we have the blue handle with the pink blade. My goodness, I cannot talk today. Very nice indeed. I just love me some Desert Warrior. It just makes you smile, and it makes a lot of you guys smile as well. And that is why we keep feeding you guys donut knives, because my goodness, is there demand for them. Those are going for $54.95. Next up, we have a couple of new models from Civivi, starting with this one, the Pentad. And this one I really like the handle of. Those grooves just fit my like medium to large size gloved hands just perfectly. It just feels like it was made for my hands. Then it has a Nitro V blade, plenty tough, great fine edge. It's going to be nice and easy to sharpen for you, and a deep carry pocket clip as well. This knife is a real looker of a knife, and I love these green G10 handle scales. And also a good slicing knife. Look how deep that belly is. It's just going to glide through paper or through food or whatever you're cutting on an everyday basis. Very exciting about this one. These ones start at $63.75. However, there are some upgraded versions, maybe with some Damascus, that you can get with, that might cost you a little bit more. Another knife that we have is a limited edition, so this model will not be around forever, called the Wellmax. And this one is quite the knife indeed. Look at this handle. Look how much milling is in the aluminum underneath. And I love that there's that Ultima on the top, so you can really see through what the knife is like underneath. And then this particular model has a 14C28N blade and an absolutely buttery smooth button lock action. This is a really exciting knife, and it's big and it wants to go to work, but it's also a sleek design and it looks very modern. This one is $128.95, and this one will not be around forever. So if you like the Wellmax, I would recommend jumping on it sooner than later because it is a limited edition. Also from Civivi, we have a Blade HQ exclusive model that has a new variant in the Headbanger, designed by my friend Brandon Beecher. He's one of our buyers here at Blade HQ, and he has a, I just love his designs. They are so distinctive, but they're also meaty and they want to go to work. The Headbanger was inspired by heavy metal music. This one has the 14C28N blade, as well as these really fun micarta handle scales that are like this black and green combo. I love that. I was going to try and have the purple micarta one here too, but that one sold out before we could get it here. But I love the Headbanger, and it's been doing a very good job here for us at Blade HQ. And the thing that's really nice about this that you don't see often on on Civivi knives is milled titanium pocket clip. It's a really luxury little feature that you see on this one, and we are just really loving the Headbanger around here. So pick those up while they are here. And then lastly, on the Civivi front, we have a new Desert Warrior version of the Vision FG. So this is a Snex
And the
design.
knife looks
Snex
funny.
Tan, I believe, is the name he goes by. He's known for his engineering and his locks.
Which is pretty
and everything.
crazy.
The Super Lock was his design, and it is.
I did one at 70% and one at 80.
G10 handle scales, as well as a blue
85%.
blade on that one. We did drop some of these at Blade Show as well, and we have them
Cut
back here
these
with
out.
us. $95 for this one, and I have heard this called the best EDC knife under $100. Is it? That's for you to decide, but I personally think it is easily in the top 5 if I had to pick. Next up from Pyrotech, we have a new model called the Saga. Now, Pyrotech is fun because of these magnetic handle scales. I can never do it on camera, so I won't try. But notice that you're not seeing any screws or anything on these handle scales. And that is because...
Yeah, I don't know about this
aside from this
shape.
titanium frame lock, that is the frame, so...
On the screen,
no
it looked a little
magnetism there.
different.
You can just pop this whole front scale off magnetically, and you can sort of build your own modifications there. And it's a great thing for people who like
Doesn't
to
look
fidget with
quite
the
as
knives or like to
long on the
maybe dress the
screen.
knife up differently every single day. So toolless, you can replace these inlays and make the knife whatever you want it to look like, as long as you can have the inlay for it. So it's a bit of a modifying platform from the get-go. And I'm really loving
this one, I
design.
guess,
It's long, it's pointy. I
is
love this
the
ruler straight here
70%
with that little bit
one.
of belly towards the tip there. It gives it a lot of slicing power.
And it,
look how thin that tip is thanks to that hollow grind. That
it
thing is
ended
going
up-
to pierce packaging like nobody's business.
How long
a
did it
very
end
well
up?
executed knife from Pyrotech. These are going
8
for
3/4 inches
$380
long.
at BladeHQ.com. We
Wow.
also have a new color variant of the Tops El Pionero.
Which is probably too long. But there, 8 3/4 is too long. And if I choke up on it, so it's pretty good if I hold it back here, it wouldn't be too long. But when I choke up on it, the actual harpoon feels good when I choke up. But this one was way too big. That's the 85%. This one's at 70%, so I can size it down a little more, and I can actually stretch it. It looks a little thin to me. I would like to see it a little thicker. So yeah, feels good when you choke up on it. And like I said, overall length of this thing is like right at 8 3/4. Huh. Very interesting. How long is the EF 136? Is that one of the ones I have on the table? This one's pretty awesome. Is this the EF 136? No, this is the EF 140. It's got an awesome crown spine though. Super comfortable handle. EF 136. Is that this one? Yeah. EF 136. All right. Yeah, so you can see it next to the one we made. Very similar in overall length. It's probably 9 inches long. It's probably got that extra 1/4 of an inch on this one. Awesome knife though. I think Michael has this one too. Somebody has this one. And I think it's their favorite Ethan Grow. I mean, I can hold it up to the ruler here. Get you an exact measurement. Try not to cut myself. There's 9 inches. There's where it's at. And blade length on it is 4 1/4 with a 4-inch cutting edge. Yep. Yeah, well, you want to know something cool about that one I showed you? It's got a split. It's got a place. Ow, this thing hurts. One of these that I just busted out, this HX Outdoors, yeah. So the cool thing about this HX Outdoors one is it has a place on the spine where they made specifically for the ferro rod. So they put a flat 90 on there, and it's rounded off here, and then it flattens out right there, but you can't even really tell. So you could take and put one of those on this part right here, put you a 90 on here, just like that, and you could have a place on a crown spine to strike the ferro rod. See, I thought that was a cool feature they did. They put a perfectly squared off. HX Outdoors is budget. Are they any good? I'm sure they've got their heat treat down. So they're probably great knives. I would imagine if they're going to spend that much money on factories and packaging, that they got their heat treat down. All right, we've been going 1 hour and 50 minutes today. Pretty long day today. It was very interesting that they didn't want to help us draw these up too precisely with ChatGPT, but then Google said, screw it, we'll help you. We'll even label it with we'll even come up with a name, the Blanco Hunter, for you. I am itching to make another fixed blade, so And I can't believe I left out one of my favorite shipwrecks that I've done on that little Natrix. And man, this knife has surprisingly good action for as good as the lockup is on it. These little Natrix are pretty cool little knives. Natrix XL, I had one of those too that was shipwrecked. I sold it. I need to give this away in a giveaway. I got it in a bundle deal. And I don't need it. Oh, I've got some up close stuff on the Discord, Pete. They're really close. There's a few areas. The clip on the clone, as you can see, is quite a bit shorter. This one is like 62 millimeters. This one is like 55 millimeters. The window on this one is bigger than this one. You can see in the gray area. And I've got some pictures on the Discord of the ether. I'll go over them again real quick before we get out of here. But yeah, the main areas. So they did a good job with the plunge line and the choils. They match up pretty good, and it's one of the best for Gen 1 that I've seen. But the cutout on the one on the right is bigger, as you can tell. And the gap between the blade grind and the window is larger on the clone. The one with the larger window. And it has the M390 branded on it. And then the only other real difference was the jimping is a little different, and this area right here is a little bigger on the clone, and the jimping doesn't look as nice and polished as the real one. And then the thickness of the blade, oh yeah, the clone is 4 millimeters thick and the original is 3.8 millimeters thick, and the little swedge area up here is a little thinner on the original than on the clone. There's where I measured the clips. That one's 55. That one's 62. I threw an offer in on this knife today. I couldn't take it no more, so I threw an offer at it. It's a Rex 121 Sage 5 with AWT scales. I've been wanting a Sage 5 forever, and that one's pretty nice in Rex 121. Looks like it's got pretty good action too if he's got the pivot tight. So maybe he answered me during the video and be able to pick that one up today. The warnings finally shipped. Did you see that knife I sent you on Instagram? The little native Warncliffe. So the little native Warncliffe is a pretty sweet knife, and it meets a lot of your criteria. But look at how melting ergos that little thing has. It's got a 2.5-inch blade. It's got those awesome choils. It doesn't have a big hump, and it's got a Wharncliffe. I think you need to pick one of those up. For $173. Yeah, just $173. Yeah, it's not close enough to me, Tristan. With the there's some differences for sure. If they got the same file, they would be more exact. Just these two alone, this being way bigger. The blades are thicker this way too. The handles are a little thicker. Clips are totally different in length. But they are very similar. They did a good job with the plunge. The plunge line is usually where they mess up, and they did this one pretty close. But the cutout is quite a bit bigger on this blade than this one. Oh, and the way they look when they're closed, I forgot about that. The blade sticks up. I don't know if you can tell, but this swedge is a lot bigger than this one. Hopefully y'all can see that. I've tried to get the light angled where they're pretty close. But yeah, there are enough differences. But yeah, they did a great job. And the sound, so you hear that on the original. You hear how good it sounds? Closing it and opening. This one's more of like a dud. Doesn't have nearly the snappy sound. But the action on it is great. And this is one of those knives that would not, there is no way that adding skips to this knife would give it any better action, because it's got perfect hydraulic drop shut and perfect detent. And it's got the cheapest possible bearings in it you could put in it. I did a breakdown shot on the Discord too in the modding channel. Here's all the insides of the clone. So they use those stamped bearings that are the worst ever. The little polka dot things are the pivot collars. It uses a real weird size skiff. It's the 6mm 17 ball with that are 1.2 millimeters thick. Let's see, cage bearings, pivot size 6mm. They use these right here. They need a 6. The pivot is 6. Yep, 9.5 and 1.2 thick. So those are the skiffs for it, if anybody wants one. $6mm by 17 ball by 3/64. All right, well, we're pushing the 2-hour mark today. Happy Father's Day to all of my knife brethren and sisters that have fathers. Everybody has a father, had a father. Can celebrate fathers. Good morning, Sever 7. Got here just in time for me to say goodbye to you. Yeah, so hope y'all have a great Father's Day. If y'all need me, you know how to reach out. Yep, I'm going to get off here and enjoy my Sunday afternoon. Hope y'all have a great day as well. Miss Brown Sugar, William, Starship, Tristan, Sever, Mr. Bob, Mr. Pete, Mr. Throat Goat, Mr. Ill Knives, Mr. Michael, Mr. Dwayne Letterman, B-Boy, Happy Father's Day, Mr. Whalen, Mr. Cliff, thank you, gentlemen, Mr. Scott Bryant, and Mr. Scott, other Scott, want to know why knives, thank you, sir. Co-Bunny, have a good Sunday. Mr. Robin popped in for a minute. Hope y'all all have a great day.